All right. Thank you all so much for taking the time to be here with us today. My name is Ashley Metzger, and I serve as our Associate Director for Community Leadership and Involvement. And I also serve as the primary advisor to our fraternity and sorority community. Today, I'm joined by 4 of our amazing students that are helping with our recruitment and intake efforts. And so we just wanted to answer some questions that we've been getting from students and parents about intake and recruitment. And I'll go ahead and let them all introduce themselves before we go ahead and get into the questions.
Hi, I'm Jeremiah J.J. Mills. I'm a senior at Denison. I'm the president of NPHC, the National Panhellenic Council, that is made up of the Black Greek letter organizations, 5 fraternities, 4 sororities. I'm here to also, as Ashley said, give you guys a little tour guide of what it is of intake and process at Denison.
Hi everyone, my name is Mariam Duran. I'm the social chair of the MGC Council here at Denison University. I'm a junior double majoring in psychology and religion, and I'm also here to give you guys a little bit of the process and joining the multicultural Greek organization.
Hi everyone, my name is Lucy Everett and I'm a senior here at Denison. This year I'm the Vice President of Recruitment for Denison Panhellenic Council, so this means that I coordinate and oversee the entire recruitment process for all 5 of our Panhellenic organizations this spring.
Hi, my name's Erich, Wette. I'm a sophomore here at Denison, majoring in math and physics. And I'm the Vice President of Recruitment for the IFC men's organizations here at Denison. And I just work alongside Ashley for recruitment processes.
Great, thank you all so much. I'm so excited that you're here to help get some questions answered. So the first question I have is just, could one of you share just a little bit more about Denison's fraternity and sorority life community?
Thank you, Ashley. Yes. Denison Fraternity and Sorority Community is home to 21 Greek letter organizations, and our 4 governing councils include NPHC, IFC, Panhellenic, and MGC. 34% of Denison students are affiliated with one of our organizations, and our fraternities and sororities are values-based organizations that provide a support network and community opportunities for personal and professional growth, social experiences, and leadership development.
That sounds really exciting. So you mentioned that there were 4 councils, correct? Could someone tell us just a little bit more about the councils themselves and maybe some of the similarities or differences?
Absolutely, Ashley. Yes, the councils, there are 4 different councils, but the foundations on which they were established are different. The National Panhellenic Council, NPHC, is home to the Black Greek letter organizations, also African American fraternities and sororities. You also have, known as Divine Nine, and you also have the Multi-Greek Council, MGC, which is home to the 4 culturally based organizations, which include Latin and Asian fraternities and sororities. Our Interfraternity Council, IFC, is composed of 6 men's organizations, and our Panhellenic Council is made up of 5 women's organizations.
A lot of organizations and different councils, which is exciting because our students have so many options. So I'm sure that a lot of our first year students and families are wondering, how do students get involved and how do they join?
Yeah, so I can talk about that for a bit. So our councils all have different separate processes for having members join. I can speak for our IFC groups. So we're going to have a week-long process where students can attend events hosted by the fraternities. This will take place February 14th through the 21st. However, some organizations may choose to hold events virtually prior to that. If a student's interested in joining any of the IFC organizations, they need to have at least a 2.5 cumulative GPA and have at least earned 12 credit hours. We also have a registration link that they'll need to fill out, which will be on the reopen page, and I also emailed it to all of the male students at Denison. And so that link will close February 3rd this year. And so now I'll pass it on to Mariam to talk more about the National Panhellenic and the multicultural processes.
Yes, so NPHC and MGC's processes are more private. During their membership intake process, students who are interested should have at least a 2.5 cumulative GPA, 12 credit hours, and attend an informational session to learn more about the organization's requirements to join and the process of joining. There is also an interest form located on the Reopen page in case you're interested in more information about when these events will be hosted. I'll let Lucy tell you more about like the formal Panhellenic recruitment process.
Thanks, Mariam. So Panhellenic Council, or our women's organizations, have largely a structured process every spring. This year, in collaboration with each of our national organizations, we decided that the safest way to host a recruitment would be entirely virtual. So students who are interested will be assigned a group or a Rho Gamma group with the recruitment guide, the Rho Gamma, to help them guide through the process. Recruitment groups will have several meetings in person to build friendships and support systems. Of course, this is as our community federal health and state Denison guidelines allow. During the process, students and chapters go through what is called a mutual selection process. So this means that the chapters make selections and the students make selections. The first evening, students will go to all 5 of our chapters. The second will be a max of 4 chapters, and the third is a max of 2 chapters. At the final round, or preference round as we call it, chapters will share a special ceremony to the interested students, and then students will make their final selection or rank their top first and second choices. Then, of course, bid day. We are so excited to welcome all of the newest members into this process this year. Students are required to have, like other organizations, a 2.5 cumulative GPA and 12 credit hours to join. They need to register by February 5th, and the link will be shared on the Reopen page. I've also shared the registration link with all freshman women this year. There is a $15 registration fee that helps support the software we use, student gifts throughout the process, and a recruitment t-shirt that everyone wears on the first night. Students who might need any assistance may reach out to Ashley to help you with that.
Thank you all so much for talking a little bit more about the process and some of the eligibility requirements for our students. So one question that I'm sure that our students, maybe more so our families, are wondering about is how are we keeping students safe during COVID and the recruitment process?
Yeah, so that's a great question, especially for this year. So first of all of our organizations are allowed to hold virtual events for the first 2 weeks of classes, and some organizations may choose to just do total virtual events even during our rush weeks. However, we are hoping to conduct in-person events safely in the second part of February. And this will be in concordance with the community cares agreement that everyone has signed. And so much like Panhellenic is doing virtual events, everyone can choose that for both Rush Week and their new member education events. However, we're also opting into doing small in-person events instead of large gatherings. And so these events will have a cap of 30 students, which will include new members and existing members. And these are only in pre-approved spaces. And so we're going to ensure that everyone is wearing a mask, social distancing when in person, and making sure the spaces are sanitized and clean before, after, and during the events. And then also, if an organization wants to hold an event in person, they have to have their event idea and plan approved by CLIC prior to that organization hosting their event. And then after that event, they are required to produce a guest list to CLIC in order for us to effectively contact trace in case there is an outbreak, which hopefully will not happen if we're following all the guidelines we all said that we would. For any in-person events also, we're going to have the capabilities of having virtual students join in, as many students may feel uncomfortable in doing these events or just not want to gather in large groups that quickly into the semester. And so, yeah, so that's basically everything. If you guys have any questions, feel free to reach out. We can always have another discussion about anything else you're worried about.
Thanks, Erich. So you mentioned the opportunity to participate virtually or remotely. So can you all tell us a little bit more about how we're making sure that students who are either learning remotely this upcoming semester or who might feel uncomfortable or maybe might be in a quarantine space this semester can also participate?
Absolutely. So most of organizations, if not all, are all doing everything through the Zoom platform. With the Zoom platform, that is the most efficient. Slash, you also have Google Videos, but who wants to use that? Um, but with that, we're giving opportunity for students that are away as remote or are quarantining due to many reasons, COVID being one, as an opportunity to participate in sessions, whether that is a meet the Greek situation or we're going to recruitment for a specific sorority or fraternity. There are also opportunities where you can reach out to the president or someone that is probably the social action of an organization to talk to them and reach out how specifically get in touch with how to attend remotely.
Yeah, to add on to that, in terms of Panhellenic formal recruitment, I've been working very closely with all of the Rho Gammas or recruitment counselors, and they're definitely planning on having some sort of remote connection where remote students who are going through recruitment can also connect with on-campus students. So that is definitely on our radar, and we want to ensure that connection as much as we can.
I'm really glad to hear that there are some remote options because I'm sure that a lot of our really great students that want to join this spring semester were probably feeling like they might miss out. So I'm glad to hear that there are definitely some things going on that they can participate. So for all of these events, that means that our students in quarantine or isolation could also participate.
Yes, our FSL orgs are working with CLIC to ensure that there are in-person and virtual options for all students who might be remote, in quarantine, or uncomfortable to attend in person due to health and safety.
Thank y'all so much. Well, I just want to say thank you to you for talking to me about recruitment and all of our students and families who are going to be watching this later on. Before we all leave today, I just want you all as students to share, you know, your favorite memory about intake or recruitment process, or really something that you're looking forward to about intake or recruitment this spring semester.
My piece of advice would be stick an organization where you want to be and are wanted. I know it's easy to be guided by your friends or by someone you value as a leader to go join that organization, but these organizations are built on service and doing commitment for a community. So don't just join for the fun or because you like that person or a girl, but definitely just choose the organization that is for you.
Yeah, so I think my favorite moment of the intake process when I went through it last year was it was probably like on a Wednesday night, we were having a recruitment event, and I just kind of looked around the room and looked at my pledge class and was like, yeah, these are the guys that I could see myself being friends with for a long time. And looking at the older guys and saying, yeah, those are good examples of the man I want to become when I'm older. So I just want to say, like, have fun with it. Best of luck. And honestly, like, you should be excited and enjoy going through this process. And if that's not the case, if you don't like where you're at, then you're definitely looking to join the wrong organization. The people you'll meet in Greek life are going to be your lifelong friends and a unique connection throughout the entire nation that you'll have for the rest of your life. So may the odds ever be in your favor.
Yeah, I agree. I think my biggest piece of advice is just make sure that you're in a comfortable space. Make sure that you're getting to know everyone who you are meeting. And like I said, like being in a Greek organization is a lifetime commitment. So you really want to make sure that being comfortable is like your number one priority. And you really want to make sure that it's a space where you can feel like you can be yourself and you can communicate and like it's really that step that you want to take in order to like make sure that you're making a lot of friends and make sure that you really want to be invested in representing and just like just feel comfortable. I think that's my biggest piece of advice. Just make sure that it's a comfortable environment for you.
For me, I think my favorite experience was being a Rho Gamma last year. So that means that I've mentioned this a few times before, but that means that I disaffiliated from my sorority and I kind of spent that recruitment week helping all the P&Ms or potential members find their house. And I think that the Panhellenic formal recruitment process is so cool because you get to see all of the potential members find their home away from home, find organizations that kind of share their values. And I mean, I just can tell, and speaking from experience myself, that all of the sororities, at least I know from Panhellenic, I can speak on that behalf, but they're genuinely excited to get to know you for you. And I'm sure that's the same for all 4 of our councils on campus.
Great. Thank you all so much again for joining us. For students and families who are watching this, all of this information is also listed out on the Denison Reopen pages for recruitment and intake. And so if you have any questions, feel free to use the contact information on that page. And thank you again. We look forward to meeting you during the intake and recruitment processes.